Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili says opposition protests in the capital of Tbilisi are a sign of strength and democracy in the country. His remarks come amid mounting calls for him to step down. Mark Dreyer has this story.
The opposition protest in front of Georgia's parliament is in its second day. Several hundred demonstrators block the street, calling for President Saakashvili to resign. Thousands more are expected to join the protest. Under increasing pressure, Saakashvili has refused to resign and is calling for dialogue.
I think yesterday, the part of the Georgian population raised their voices. We listened and we heard. I want, therefore, to respond. I want to again reiterate our offer of a dialogue on strengthening our democratic institutions, and I want to say that we mean it. This offer is real.
Opposition leaders have vowed to demonstrate every day until Saakashvili quits.
He was brought peacefully to his position and we want him to be taken away the same way. We do not want any violence. We want him to get out of Georgia.
The demonstration began on Thursday with 60,000 people taking part. Protesters accuse Saakashvili of monopolizing power and stifling reforms promised in the 2003 Rose Revolution that swept him to power. Protesters also say the president made a serious mistake last year when he launched an assault on the South Ossetia region. Mark Dreyer, CCTV.
Pressures growing on the Georgian president, with the opposition threatening civil disobedience and another day of mass rallies. They've vowed to stay on the streets until President Saakashvili quits. He, though, is standing firm and says he won't go anywhere before the end of his term. RT's Anisa Nawi has the details.
A third day of protesting set to begin here in the Georgian capital, Tbilisi. It's hard to say how many people are expected. The opposition is, of course, promising the same numbers that we saw on the first day, on Thursday, where tens of thousands of people came out. On Friday, the second day, there were much fewer people who were able to come out to show their support for the opposition. But perhaps because now it's the weekend, more people will have off from work and they'll be able to come out and have their say, continuing their demand for Mikhail Saakashvili to step down. Now, clearly, the first ultimatum that the opposition gave the president to step down by Friday has expired. They've announced that they will expand their protests beyond the city's capital, so we could see people come out in regions and other cities across the country. They've also announced a public campaign of civil disorder, and what that means is it's going to be very difficult to live, at least in the city center, over the next couple of days. There's going to be a lot of traffic. They're planning to move their protest from the Parliament building and also have protests outside the state-run television center and also outside the residence of the president. They're openly planning to try to disturb his schedule. They're going to find out if any meetings that he has, or kind of keep watch to see if they can try to interrupt any work he might have over the next couple of days. On the president's part, it has to be said that he has made it very clear that he intends to go nowhere. He made an announcement on Friday that he intends to stay in office until 2013. Now, his election last year was supported by the West and by other international organizations and NGOs, so he feels that he was elected free and fairly. Of course, that's exactly one of the reasons the opposition is protesting. They say that those elections were marred by corruption, that he was not elected, and that the people want to see someone else in office. A lot of the opposition leaders that are speaking out against the president used to work very closely with him. The former Speaker of the House, Nina Burjanadze, who actually stepped in as president when those early elections were held last year. Also, Irakli Alasanye, who was the former ambassador to the UN. They have openly begun speaking out against the president. They have organized these protests. And so as much as he says he's going to stand strong, there is a pretty serious case against him, and the protesters are saying that they will continue until he gives in to their demands. Anisa Nawi, RT, Tbilisi, Georgia.